Welcome to SimpleSoftware 205 using the fixed field type. The fixed field is a very handy little field that can be used very simply to have a preset value saved in the config that the user can't change, or it can be used to have the field that is set automatically to one of several environmental variables that are available to you. For example, you can have the current logged on user, the computer workstation name on the network, the config file name, and a variety of other options are available to you for automatically setting that fixed field. And what that lets you do is have a single field defined that changes depending on the workstation or the configuration that the user has. So let's see what some of the options available to us are with the fixed field type. We're going to create a new configuration, and we're just going to use the input source from the invoice processing sample. In this batch, we're just going to configure several different fixed fields to demonstrate some of the different things that you can do with them. Once again, with the fixed field, the set button next to the template gives you a list of all the options available to you in order to configure preset values for the fixed field type. The box just displays a list of the possible values. The manual gives you complete details on what each of these items means, but they are pretty self-explanatory. Field number lets you insert the value from another field automatically. So you can use the field number in order to combine different field values from other fields and output a file name using that combined field. Infile will use the input file name, the original file name of the image that you're indexing. So that lets you keep track of the original file name in your index fields. The user ID is the currently logged on user in SimpleIndex. The batch ID is the current batch ID, which is the date and time stamp used to create the batch logs. %config% will insert the current configuration file name. WinUser will use the currently logged on Windows user. Computer will use the network computer name for your workstation. The %computer% is very handy for distinguishing that, and WinUser are very handy for distinguishing batches that are indexed from different users all running SimpleIndex. And the last options, today, now, month, year, day, hour, minute, and second, are all different variations of the current date and time. So %today will enter the current date. Now will enter the current date and time. Month will enter the current month, year, day, etc. will enter those different parts of the current date and time that you specify. And these lower options are substituted when the batch is exported. So here you're able to insert the output file name, the OCR output file, the page count, and batch ID, all at the time when the files are exported, because the output file name isn't known until you release the batch. This is used to let you reconfigure the order in which the output file name appears in the index log, and we'll get into that in another class. So for this field, let's go in order. The field number, let's get a couple of other fields configured before we combine values. So the first one is infile after that. You have to select the field type first. We currently don't have the log settings configured so that there's a user ID. So let's use the batch ID here. will be the configuration file name. And to configure more than 5 fields, we have to go into the advanced settings. And let's do 2 more for a total of 7. And here we'll do the current date by entering today. And for field 7, we'll combine fields 4 and 5. And doing this, we can do things like put a different field separator character between the values. And you can put other text around it too. And we'll make the file name the same as the input file name, which is another good use of the infile keyword. And let's add one more field to show what happens if you just put some text in the template. Always save your configuration. And we run it, and we see that all of our fields have been populated with the data indicated by the keyword we put in the template setting. So the first field is the input file name, which is sample page, and it takes off the file number so that it's just the name of the file and not the actual number for multi-page files. Field 2 is the batch ID. Field 3 is the name of our configuration file, what we saved it as. Field 4 is my current Windows logon ID. Field 5 is the name of my computer. Field 6 is the current date. Field 7, as we see, combines fields 4 and 5 with the other text that we added in there. And then field 8 just has what we typed. And these will be consistent for the whole batch. And that's how you configure the fixed field type.